Welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. We are in the middle of this region. Oh, let's just find... Looks like a lot of 4s and some 5s. Yeah. Let's just pick one and go. Precision. All regions must have an area of exactly 3. 2 regions touching the symbol must be different shapes with a delta, and 2 regions touching the symbol must be the same shape with the Gemini. Now, if I do that, what do we have here? There are 16 here, which means 15 plus 1. Which could mean there are 2 regions which stick in by 2, or 1 region that sticks in by 1. Ha. If that were dividing it, there would be a region here which would go here and another here. That would mean that this had to be like that, and this would have to be like that. Then there'd be another one like that. This one would be that. That would be that. This one would have to be that. And that would break. So I'm thinking that both of these are looking at the same region down here, which will be different regions here. And over here, it's going to still have to be... Yeah, that is going to have to be 3 by 1 like that. There's no way around that. Because anything that's drawn from here is going to be a 3 by 1. And anything drawn from here will also be a 3 by 1. So both of these are seeing a 3 by 1 area, a 3 by 1 region at the bottom. And this one must be that, while this one must be not that. Now, it can't. The reason I drew it before like this is that if it were like that, it would be blocking that off. And if it's in here, if it's taking that one, it can only do that or that. So it must be that it does that. Now, that means that both of these are seeing a 3 by 1. but it doesn't say where it is exactly. This one right here. If this were 3 by 1, it would make a region of 2 here. So that's no good. Now this has to come out here. I don't know which it take. Well, I kind of do. Let's see. This has to be that. This one cannot be the same region as that. It does that. And this one does that. Ooh, that's no good. That doesn't make any sense. How can this be different than that? If all regions must have an area of exactly 3. This one right here has to take that one. It cannot take that one. This one must take that one, and it cannot get over here. Is everything... Yeah, there is no way that this is not a 3 by 1 down in here. It just has to be. Therefore, Gemini says that this has to also be a 3 by 1. And there's no way that this is not a 3 by 1. So Delta says this has to not be a 3 by 1. In order for this to not be a 3 by 1 and this to be a 3 by 1, this must be the way it goes. Let's just restart entirely. That has to do that. Because if this were to do that, it would be here. If it were to do that, it would still be here. It must do that. This has to be a 3 by 1 here, and this has to be a 3 by 1. I don't know if they're the same 3 by 1 or a different 3 by 1, but they have to be 3 by 1. A region of 3 can only be an L or a 3 by 1. An L or an I. You can bend it or not bend it. This has to be different. So it must be bent, which means it must do that. This piece right here has to do something, and it does that. This one does that. This one has to do something. If it were to take that, these would be closed off. So it can't take that. It must go here. Now this has to be a 3. It has to have an area of 3. It cannot go to here. It must go to here. How can How can this be a 3 by 1? How? That is now invalid. Those are the same shape. Delta must be touching two different shapes. We have that, and that, and that, and that, and that. But it's wrong. How can it be wrong? How can that be wrong? What if it does that? That's it. Okay. That's what it does. Now it's like that, and that, and that, this. There we go. Now I've got it. I really need to not take days off on this. I just forget everything. Okay. That's a 5 there. I'm gonna go to the 4s. Precision 3, all regions must have an area of exactly 3. Again, same two shapes. This can't come to here because it can't be different and the same. Now it's different than that, so it must be that. And this is the same. Nope, no. It's the same as this. Not that. So it's that. It's possible. Okay, this has to be different than that, so it is an eye. There. Now this is an eye, which means this is an eye. I don't know what this is yet, or that. There are 3 regions that are in this area, because there's 9. They fit. There's only one way through, so none of them can stick out without breaking something. Whatever this region is must not be the same as this region, and this region has to be a different shape than that region. This one cannot be an eye because it's only got that area to work with. So this one is, which means this one does that, and this one does that to match it. That does that. Now, okay, this one, again, this can't come to here because it can't be different and the same. That is that one then. Now this region must be the same shape as this, but different than that. So it is an L shape somewhere. It could go here. This could go here. And then this would go like that. Okay, now the last one, I completely missed a possibility. So, with this one, if this is an L, which in fact it must be, it could do that. Or it could do that. It can't do that because that would leave this. And it can't be part of that because that would mean that it came down here. So no matter what, it's either going to do that or that, which means that. Now, this is also going to be an L. With this being an L, it could do that. Or it could do that. Either one allows this to work. What happens though? This is part of an L, or this is part of an L. So that's an L, which means this is not an L. And it can't go that way, so it does this. Now this has to be the same eye shape, so it's that. And there we go. Finished. Up here, there's a 5. Here, take this one. Precision 10. All regions must have an area of exactly 10. 30, 30. This has to be a different region than that. There's going to be 3 regions of 10 in each of these. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That would do that. Now this one could not go here. Whatever is in here has to get out. That's going to break. that is definitely going to break. Because this is 7, 8, 9. It needs one more. But this one has to get over here. So, if that Hmm. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. How to do this? That is clearly not right. This is 8. This is 8. So each of them needs 2 more. That's gonna happen. Now I just took 2 away from this. So this needs 1 more. And that is the same thing that I had at the start, except these are different. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. Okay. This one does that. That one does that. And this one does that. Now, over here, I could work the same way. It's the same shape with different borders. This border is in a different place. How much does that change it? If that is still that, what if 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It would end here. So that is why that would not work. Because that and that can't be the same shape. Like this. So how do we give that piece to that one and take one away? Now this is only 9 now. So that isn't right. But if instead we do that, that's just going to make things worse. How do I do this? Can I can't, there's no way that I can wrap this around this one to get that while leaving 10 in here. That's 8 right now, and this is only 7. So if it did that instead, now that would be 10, and this would be 9. But this is the problem here. So if that doesn't come down here at all, and takes that, this is 7. Now that's 10. I think that could work. Now this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that works. This one takes all of that side. There we go. Yes. There. I don't know that I'm ready to move on to these 5s, but maybe I'll go check the other side over here in the next episode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then. Bye.